Richie Sambora, who was a former bandmate of Jon Bon Jovi's, is the subject of a relationship that Jon Bon Jovi desires to clarify. After Sambora left Bon Jovi in the middle of their 2013 world tour, Bon Jovi, who is 62 years old, had a question and answer session at a screening of the band's documentary series, You Goodnight, the Bon Jovi Story, which took place in Los Angeles on April 10th. During the event, Bon Jovi discussed the bond between the two individuals. In response to a question about whether or not it was conceivable for him and Sambora, who quit the band for personal reasons, to perform on stage together once more, Bon Jovi stated that despite the fact that his bandmate didn't show up for a number of gigs during their tour, there was never a disagreement between the two of them. According to Bon Jovi, there was never a fight. There was substance abuse, there was anxiety, there was being a single parent, and there were a lot of personal issues that he was in the process of dealing with. In spite of this, none of us, including myself, him, David Bryan, or Tico Torres, have ever engaged in a fight to this day. He proceeded by saying that he had some problems that he just couldn't wrap his head around, and there were times when he wanted to be at home more than he wanted to be on the road. However, you had to show up for work. There is therefore no hostility. The fact that my right-hand man was requested to join my band and that I was fortunate enough to have met him is a significant element of my story for 3 of the 4 chapters. But life continued on. It was going to come to an end because he left the band due to the fact that he left the band. Therefore, I do not have any ill will towards you. Regrettably, rock and roll is not a sentence that lasts a generation. As for the idea that he wanted to raise his kid at home, I have a lot of respect for it. In the year 2021, Sambora tea was not a popular decision by any means, obviously, but there was really almost no choice about it. Sambora was reflecting on his decision to leave the company. My personal life required a significant amount of conscious effort on my part. Because I was surrounded by individuals who loved me, I was able to make it through those difficult times. At that very moment, I became aware that daughter Ava required my presence within her life. We had to prioritize our family, and that is exactly what transpired. Ava, who is 26 years old, is Sambora's former wife, Heather Locklear's child. His kid continues to be his top focus, according to a source who spoke to People last month. This is despite the fact that he left the band 11 years ago. Both Richie and Ava have a strong bond. The source said that it is his girlfriend. She is irreplaceable to him, and she has always been. 3 years prior to his departure from the group, Sambora was feeling demoralized, according to a source, and personal issues were a contributing factor in his departure. Bon Jovi stated in an interview with Ultimati Classic Rock in March that he and Sambora do not communicate with one another. After having previously filled in for Sambora during a few of gigs in 2011, Phil X succeeded him as the band's lead vocalist. According to the singer of Livin' on a Prayer, we are not staying in touch with him because he is no longer a member of the organization. Even though it has been 11 years since he went missing, this does not imply that there is no love that will last forever. Also, he was dealing with emotional concerns as a single father, and he was also dealing with substance misuse issues that, he was dealing with. It was necessary for Phil X to appear at the first time, and then again at a later period. Again, there is a performance scheduled for the evening. Just what are we going to do? The singer also disclosed that he and Sambora, a childhood pal who served as the band's lead guitarist for 30 years, did not collaborate on the album's documentary series that will be released on Hulu on April 26th. No single word. Gautam Chopra was the voice behind that. As he explained to the outlet, this was not a puff story, nor was it any bullshit. Behind the scenes, we are not the ones working to pull strings. Oh no, and no more. Richie was interviewed in London by them. It wasn't me who was there. It was completely unrelated to me in any way.